Well, g'day curd nerds. G'day curd nerds. Well, 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 g'day curd nerds. Welcome back. I'm Gavin Weber, the host of the show. And today is Ask the Cheeseman. Well, as it is every Sunday morning. This is episode 344. Big shout out to all of the financial members and patrons. Just been going through the list today and updating it. So big shout out to Mark Longley. G'day Mark. Thank you for supporting the show via YouTube memberships. To Laz77. To Staypan, I think that's how you say it, or Stedgepan. I don't want to say it wrong. Sorry. Thank you so much for your membership. And Fiona, thank you, Fiona, for your membership as well. And to everybody else on the list there. Let's not forget, of course, all of the patrons. Thank you to all of the patrons who support the show on a monthly basis. Your support is what keeps the show running. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really do appreciate it. Keeps the lights on around here, that's for sure. Okay, what do we got coming up? Whew, busy. We have lots of stuff going on. Hang on, where's my list? Gav, where's your list? Right. Let me show you. So on the Trello board this week, we have Orange and Walnut Kafili, which is still in production. The taste test for that will be on the 22nd of Feb. Got that all scheduled in. So that cheese is looking very nice indeed. It's in the Cheese Cave. I'm still doing the edit on the How I Enhance My Veggie Patch for Retirement. That's a working title. But you can see me and the doggos there in the garden. Also, I'm making currently on the kitchen sink, and you'll see in the gallery, my cheese called Mount Cottrell, which is also known as Valence. Is what else am I going to call it? You know, call it something different. Don't want the cheese police to get me. I haven't got a picture yet, but there's one up here. It says Better Cow's Feta. I've got the milk, I've got everything set up in the kitchen ready to go as soon as I finish the live stream. I'll be doing that. Next weekend, I'm getting some buffalo milk again, which is fantastic because I really wanted to try this cheese for a while, which is Blue de Buffalo. It's an Italian version of a blue cheese made with water buffalo milk, so it'll be nice and creamy. Hopefully we'll get some blue mold growth through it, so that'll be delightful. And then I've got a whole bunch of other suggestions or video ideas that I'm mulling through with ideation. This one here, I can put this into pre-production. I made 4 cheeses using the Fromaggio. Here is what I learned. The Fromaggio machine that Fromaggio people sent me has arrived. Didn't have any cultures with it, so I can't do anything with it at the moment. So I'm going to do a long-form video on this one. I'm going to make 4 cheeses with the Fromaggio. I'm going to review the bejeebers out of it, honest review. Had some communications this week with the owner, or the founder of the company, Glenn, and told him what I was going to do, and that they have no input into the review whatsoever. They did send me the unit for review, of course, but we'll see how it goes. And anyway, that's what it is. So that should be good fun. You know, it probably has its place somewhere in the world, so we'll do a review on that. So that's what's going on with cheeses and videos and that sort of stuff. Back to my head. There we go. Alrighty. Anything else I wanted to say this week? No, not really. So, okay. So let's say good day to a few people, of course. Hello to Shauna, who was the first person there, and then g'day Dominic, and of course Valerie, and just for fun, Jeffrey. G'day Jeffrey, and Persnickety, g'day mate. Molly Brown, in the middle of making white Stilton. Very nice. Can I go back that far? Where's Molly? There she is. Making some white Stilton. Well done, you. Who else we got? Persnickety again. David, hello David. Lovely to see you, mate. Paul, g'day mate. Always a pleasure to have you on the stream. Who else we got? Did I say Persnickety? Yeah, I did already. We can't do him twice. Tracy from Cheeseman. G'day, Tracy. Chilean BC. Nice. Very nice indeed. We've just come out of the back end of a heat wave here. We've had, what did we have? We had 4 days over 35 degrees Celsius. I tell you what, it was a struggle to keep the veggie patch alive, that's for sure. But I managed to do it. So that should be good fun. We've been eating our sweet corn. We had some the other day, first time. Oh, I'll tell you what, absolutely fantastic. It was delicious. The tomatoes are on their last legs. So anyway, moving right along. Hello to Jose. Hello, mate. How are you over in the UK? Michelle, hello to you. Lovely to see you. Fiona, thank you for signing up for your membership. Who else we got there? Dental Man in Germany. G'day, Dental Man. Cool Cat in the UK. And Herb, long time no see. G'day, mate. Zombicus, welcome to you. How's your cheese making kit going? I haven't seen any photos yet. Shoot some through. Zombicus was one of the winners of the giveaway. Who else we got? Nina. That's it. Very nice indeed. Thank you, Nina. And Tracy's making mascarpone. There we go. Very nice indeed. Tartaric acid. That's the main ingredient. Oh, besides the cream, of course. Anyway, now we do have some questions. And people are putting in 3 Qs at the start, which is absolutely fantastic. It really helps. Where's the first question? There was one about... No, can't go back that far. Something about books. Somebody? Who was the somebody? Dominic, I think, says, when will the print versions of the my Keep Calm and Make Cheese series of books be available? I sold the last one yesterday, so of the ones I have printed, so I'll go and do another print run, get those bound up and get them on the shelves for Monday morning for e-commerce sales. So yeah, I'll do that. So Dominic, make sure you sign up on the product page. There's a wait list, so do that and you won't have any troubles. Okay, next question is from Persnickety. Says, what's the timeline for gardeny thingy? Oh, spit it out. Gardeny thingies. Right, so I think Persnickety's referring to the gardening videos that I promised that I was going to do. Well, I threw it out there, and if it sticks, it sticks. I'm doing the final edit for the first one. The first one's going to be a longer one on the transition from low garden beds, and I mean low garden beds, up to something a little bit more manageable in my retirement and with my back injury. So I spent a lot of time over the last 6-7 months building and landscaping our gardens, so that when you come into the gate, which is our main entrance, that it looks stunning. Well, I think it looks stunning. As Kim just keeps praising every time she goes out there. She goes, "You should be so proud of yourself, Gav." I didn't do the right voice, but yeah, that's what she says. So very soon, I'm working on the edit today. So hopefully that'll be released sometime this week. Jose said today was the first attempt to make blue cheese. Was my first attempt to make blue cheese, following Gavin's video advices and videos. You shouldn't go too far wrong. The blue cheese, doesn't matter what blue cheese you're making, from my back catalogue of videos, they all seem to turn out fairly well. Except one from years ago. Oh, what was it called? Saint-Mancel, which is a French cheese, and I think it was a disaster. It was it was a terrible cheese. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So yeah, all the other blues, beautiful. Just don't do Saint-Mancel, which is like way back 15 years ago in the catalogue. And I said what I did wrong and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, next question is from Persnickety, who says, any thoughts on discussion of increasing fat content of store-bought whole milk, video format? Mate, I think you might have missed it. There is indeed a video about, let me just bring it up, about the fat content of your cheese. Let me just go to the channel on the second monitor. So we're looking for Pearson Square. Come on, computer. There we go. Calculating milk fat content for cheese making using Pearson Square. This is the one here. Let's just grab the... Oh, what are we doing? That one. Copy the link and pop it in the chat. Persnickety, you're going to love this. I did some science. I think I went on to cheesescience.com and deciphered their article on Pearson Square. So go and check that out. That's how to calculate milk fat from store-bought milk. Besides on the back of the carton, of course. But how to increase, decrease the milk fat by mixing skim milk and whole milk or whatever percentage fat milk you've got to bring it down to whatever level you should do. So, yeah, very cool. Next question is from Dominic. Says, any chance you might ferment some veggies? Well, funny you should say that. I do wholly intend on making some kimchi or sauerkraut when it's summer here, so cabbages don't grow. So cabbages will be one of the crops that I grow. So I'm going to have to put the seedlings in end of February for our autumn to start in March. And yeah, so we'll be doing some fermented vegetables. I do love a good sauerkraut. And I tell you what, the spicier the kimchi, the better, I reckon. So yes, that will be one of the things we talk about. Dentalman says, for which types of cheese do you recommend the use of protective cultures or additives such as lysozyme? Okay, so in the Netherlands, the use of lysozyme, which is an egg white derivative that prevents late blowing, is used mainly in cheeses like Edam and Gouda. Those are the types of cheeses. So any cheeses that you wash the curd. It's a fairly tricky process. I mastered it once or twice, but not so much, which is one of the reasons I took a whole bunch of videos down, and I mentioned them last week during the show. But lysozyme, if you can get it, it's very hard to get your hands on in small quantities. So yeah, it's used for washed curd cheeses. So ones where you add water into the remove some of the whey, add some water in, wash the curds, lower the pH and overall acidity, take away food for the lactic bacteria so they don't produce as much acid in the final cheese. So that's where you use lysozyme and protective cultures. David says, I have a 3-pound Parmesan about 2 months in the cave. Good rind on it. Should I vacuum seal it? If so, when? 2 months. Yes, I would do that now. For the home cheese maker, maintaining a Parmesan, 3 pounds, what's that, about 1.5 kilos? Decent sized cheese. You don't want it to dry out completely. One of the first Parmesans that I ever made, and I never filmed it, thank goodness, was by the time I got to the 12-month mark, it was totally dried out, and it also had late blown, and Oh, it was a shocker. So make sure that you vacuum pack it about now. Would be good. 2 months, good rind. Do it now. There you go, David. There's some advice for you, mate. Zombicus says, I'm going to send you pics and hopefully a video of me opening the kit. I've been sick for some time with a bad virus and no energy. Sorry to hear that, Zombicus, but yeah, I'd love to see some photos of your smiley face. That would be good. So, fantastic. Paul's got a suggestion for the series, Gav's Victory Garden. I tell you what, Paul, you're an ideas man. If you haven't seen the castle, go and see it. But yeah, you're an ideas man. I tell you what, that would go off like a frog in a sock, wouldn't it? Gavin's Victory Garden. Very nice. Right, that's a suggestion. So that'll be a playlist, I reckon. So good. All right, thank you, mate. And David, thank you for the super chat. Why isn't the light gone off? There we go. I'll do it manually with my foot pedal. There we go. Curd nerds rejoice. Thank you, David, for the $20 US. I really appreciate it, mate. Okay, let's. I think, did I press it on or off? On. Okay. Okay, I'll get back to some of the later questions, but we have from Zombicus has a question. Says, I'm trying to make American Munster, but I can't find a recipe anywhere. So I made your Munster mess recipe, omitting the bee linens, a natto wash when it's done. What do you think? I think that's a fairly good facsimile of American Munster. Now, I do think that there's a... and there's your flashy light. I think there is a recipe on cheesemaking.com for the American version of Munster. So you can go and check that out, Zombicus. I think they have both types. They have the American version and the French version of Munster. So you can go and check that out. But yeah, hope that helps. Thank you very much for your super chat. I do appreciate it. It's your fifth. There we go. And David's was his first super chat. Thank you, David. Now, there is another question from Dominic. Dominic says, can you suggest a selection of cultures for someone new to cheese making? Indeed. I've got a video. I got a video for that. As they do. What is it? What did I call it? Cultures. Oh, there we go. Right, hang on. Over to the second monitor. So the video I searched for culture. Starter cultures for cheese making. So these are the regular sorts of ones, and what they do, share. So go and check this one out, David, and you'll be pleasantly surprised on the list. I've got equivalents and all the different manufacturers and all that sort of stuff. So you could go and check that out. But mainly I would get a mesophilic like MO30 or MA11 by Danisco. That's just your standard 2 culture mesophilic. I'd get a MA4000 series mesophilic culture for your cheddary styles. I'd get a thermophilic culture. I use MOT92 with good success. It's got 4 strains in there, and it gives a very lovely flavour for all those Alpine style cheeses. I also use it for mozzarella, but it's not really a quick acidifier. There's a better quick acidifier called Thermo B, which is good for mozzarella and any stretch curd cheeses, if you're going to go that way. And Floridanica, which is a great all-rounder for soft cheeses. So there's a handful. But go and check that video out. It's got all the different, well, not all. It's got a lot of manufacturers and their equivalents. So I hope that helps. Next question is from Just for Fun says, why is the Dutch mould Gouda cheese mesh getting clogged after pressing? Okay. Those styles of moulds have a very light pressing schedule, a very quick pressing schedule. I know that the one with the micro have micro stuff. What's it called? Micro perforated holes. The Lauder molds that I have, they have a totally different pressing schedule than what we do normally as home cheesemakers. The Dutch molds that have the mesh in the thing, so you don't need a cheesecloth. They have a very similar sort of pressing schedule. They don't get half the weight that we would normally see. So yeah, you're using too much weight just for fun. Jeffrey says, has Hannah Instruments got back to you yet about buying the pH meters? No, they haven't. And that was a week ago, so I've got to chase them up. All I've heard is crickets. I filled out their contact page and I sent them an email from the email address that I found on their website. So at the moment, nothing but crickets. There is a phone number, so I'm going to call them up. There's a Victorian sales rep, so I'll give him a call, see what he has to say for himself, and go from there. But I would love to get some of those wholesale. They're not cheap. The one I was looking at, and I'm going to pick it up hopefully after I get a phone call or whatever, some sort of contact would be lovely. Anybody from Hannah Instruments watching, reach out to Gav. A link is in the description down below. But yeah, it'd be good to get some sort of response for them before I buy one of their things. Anyway, thanks, Jeffrey. David says, do you think you will redo your provolone video? I did. I had two cracks at it. So yeah, I had 2 cracks at provolone. The first one not so good. The second one better. And just it tasted like provolone as far as I was concerned, because I had the real deal before. But I couldn't get the size. I couldn't get the volume. And the problem was I couldn't measure the pH. So the pH of the cheese needs to be between 5 and 5.3 before you can stretch the curds properly. And yeah, I was way off the mark. I was using paper pH test strips, which I tried to calibrate. It's very hard to calibrate paper bloody pH test paper. But yeah, I was doing a little bit of an experiment yesterday off camera and trying to figure out what the pH of my Valence style cheese was, and I had 2 different types of pH paper. One was a dipstick, you know, like you test your swimming pool water. For those who've got pools, you will know. And one was just a piece of paper you rip off, put it in tweezers, and put it in the whey and the curds. Both had totally different readings, so I don't trust either of them. And when I do get a pH meter, you got to calibrate it every time you use it. So you got to have your pH 7 and your pH 4, and I've been watching lots of videos. Anyway, should be fun. It'd be good to get a decent reading. And Matt says that a good pH meter is life-changing. Thanks, Matt. I should be able to repeat stuff over and over and get some decent stuff going on there. Nina's chiming in and letting Zombicus know where she can find a Munster recipe. Yeah, the original Munster recipe I had was in the 200 Easy Cheeses by Deborah Amron Boys, and also Valerie Pearson's book. I do have a copy of it. I don't promote it because it's the same recipes as everywhere else. But those who are in the know, this is from Green Living, one of the founders of Green Living Australia, Valerie Pearson, well known here in Australia. She's written a book. It's self-published. Does it have an index? That may be the reason I couldn't figure out what to... No, there's no index. It's Seek and Ye Shall Find. See, I've even got I got a signed version. Isn't that nice? Thank you, Valerie. Where is it? Oh, it's got a table of contents. What was I looking for? Munster. Is it in here? Oh, there we go. Washed rind cheeses, 151. Right at the back. Let me just have a quick look here. 151. It's a recipe for 2 gallons or 8 litres of whole milk. I won't share the recipe online because it's says this is different from the American version, which does not use bee linens. Instead, it is coloured by dipping it into annatto. Okay, so all right. So the recipe is in this book for the German version. I dare say the American version is just without the bee linens, probably. But yeah, good suggestion, Nina. Thank you very much. Zombicus says, I want to make Parmesan without lipase. How different is the flavour profile going to be? Yeah, look, it depends on the milk you use. If you want to use lipase in your Parmesan, it will drastically change the flavour profile. Sorry, if you don't use it using my recipe. The flavour will be different. So, yeah, it won't be the piquant or spicy flavour that Parmesan's known for when it's aged out to about 12 months. So, unless you use raw milk, which is perfectly valid when making a Parmesan, it's aged over 60 days, so there's very little harm that you'll get with a fully ripened Parmesan. Remembering it's a low-fat cheese, so it only has milk. The milk you use is 2%, so with raw milk it may be difficult. You may have to skim it off. Very hard to measure the fat content without a machine. So yeah, the flavour will not be. It'll be more of an Alpine cheese than a Parmesan. That's the style you'll get. Dominic says, is 3D printing moulds and followers recommended, or is it risky? Good question. Well, there is a food grade plastic that you can get for 3D printing. So yes, I do have some followers that have been 3D printed and they work fine. I haven't had any issues with them so far. I'm not dead from the cheese that I've eaten, but that I've made from them. And yeah, the plastic beading, the string stuff, was food grade plastic. So yeah, I didn't have any issues with that. The problem being is some of the print. I don't know how good your 3D printer is, Dominic, but they leave little burrs, so you're gonna have to sand it back. And by sanding, you're getting scratches in the plastic, and the plastic, that's where all of the bacteria hide after you've made cheese. Very hard to clean. You'll see a lot of the moulds that home cheese makers use are made of low density polyethylene, so the white food grade plastic that your milk comes in, milk cartons, that sort of stuff. And I used polyethylene, so low density polyethylene, and that was fine. But yeah, and that low density polyethylene plastic moulds are smooth. You won't find any scratches in them, so they won't harbour any bad bacteria. Okay. Molly says, I'm using a pH meter for the first time with my white Stilton. Well done, Molly. Matt says, will you shout out to my twins Bessie and Isabel? Hello, Bessie and Isabel. Welcome to the Curd Nerd universe. I hope you're enjoying the cheesy content. There you go. Did that work, Matt? Let me know. Matt, hello, Matt. I'm getting into cheese making. Can you use a camp fridge set at an ideal temperature to start with as the cheese fridge getting starter kit shortly? Yes, Matt, you can. If you can keep the temperature at 13 degrees Celsius or 55 Fahrenheit, you're doing okay. And that's what you want. If you're using a camp fridge that can run off the mains, then yeah, fantastic. You won't have any troubles at all, mate. There you go. Zombicus says raw milk is illegal in New Jersey. That's fine. Use pasteurised milk then. But like I said, if you take out the the lipase, that's for the gallery. If you take out the lipase, it's going to taste more like a Alpine cheese. Okay. That's the gallery. So we'll get back to the questions after the gallery. The gallery is brought to you. Hang on, let me just find it. Where is it, Gav? The gallery is brought to you by you, the Curd Nerds. So let's get the second monitor going so we can see the gallery. That's a good looking cheese fridge, isn't it? All right, so this is the first photo in the gallery this week is from Jeff, who's in the chat there. Says, hi Gavin, I have a couple of photos. One of my new cheese cave, which is an upright freezer, but it's a hybrid. It has freezer mode, beverage mode, fridge mode, chill mode, soft freeze mode, and cellar mode, which is why I bought it for the cellar mode. The temps are 5 degrees, 8 degrees, 10 degrees, 11 degrees, 12 degrees, 14 degrees, and 15 degrees. I think there's a photo of... there we go. So, it's by No Frost, whoever they are. But I can see he's got it set at 11, so the cellar mode... yeah, between 11 and 13 is probably best there, Jeff, for your cheeses, so I think that'll be fine. But yeah, I didn't even realise this style of fridge exists, and it's quite big. Let's go and have a look at the size. So that's the internals. I can see that you've got your brine bucket in there, and you've got a cheese. Back to the email. All I need to do now is fill the cheese, but it's been too damn hot here. Yeah, I hear you. You're in Adelaide, I think, Jeff. Yeah, you get the weather a day before us. And did make a Guido's Hard Italian cheese last Sunday after the live stream, which is in the photo. So it looks like I have a big job ahead of me. It won't take long. I tell you what, Jeff. Sneaks up on you, all these cheeses. But yeah, fantastic. And it'll be full in no time. Don't you worry about that. So, nice looking cheese fridge. Well done on that purchase. And so it's so good that you don't have to worry about external thermostats and all that malarkey. All right, the next one is from... who's this from? Dominic. Dominic says, Dear Gavin, thank you so much for posting all the wonderful videos. Your efforts are way cool. You know, that's way as in W-H-E-Y. Very nice. Like the pun. I made my first 2 successful cheeses this week. Persian feta and chili queso fresco. They are absolutely delightful. So there's your Persian feta. Very nice indeed. And there is your chili queso fresco. I like it a lot. Dominic goes on to say that, by the way, I live in a predominantly Mexican suburb of Chicago, Cicero, if that makes sense to anybody. The queso fresco is getting strong approval from my neighbours. I couldn't be more pleased with the results of your recipe. I can't wait for the feta to finish marinating. The remainder didn't fit in the jar and was delightful. Regards, Dominic. Thank you, Dominic. Looks like you've got a lovely looking chili queso fresco there. And it does taste nice. I really do enjoy that. So congratulations and well done. The next one is from a guy called Matt, who's reached out to me. Matt Longley says, Dear Gavin, I've listened to so many podcasts, so many of your tutorials and podcasts that I now consider you my friend. But in this friendship, the giving has been all one way from you to me. That's the nature of a parasocial relationship, of course. And it's not the way it's supposed to be. So I plan to reciprocate for all your kind mentoring with a small financial donation to your business after learning best how to do that. I subscribe to your services as a patron, but I'm finding the Patreon website a bit confusing. So I'm going to withdraw from that app and join your YouTube channel instead. From there, I'll send a donation as promised. Thank you very much, Mark. I really appreciate it. Meanwhile, I have a question and a personal cheese-making tip. I know you sometimes run out of questions on your weekly live stream, which I listen to every week, so I don't mind if you save your answer as a filler for a future broadcast. Here is my question. Many of your cheese I'll start again. Many of your cheese tutorials specify a frequency for turning the cheese as it matures in the cheese cave. Is it possible to turn any cheese types too often? I visit my cheese cave every day, and I developed the habit of turning each cheese there on a daily basis. There is something about handling each cheese that is very satisfying from a sensory perspective. Some would call this a fetish. Cheese fetish. Very nice. It recently occurred to me that this practice may be ill-advised, and your take on this habit would be most appreciated. Turning every day is perfectly fine if you want. A lot of the cheese companies do turn the cheeses every day. So there's no harm. Not turning it is when the harm comes in. So, nice one, persnickety, feta-ish. I like it a lot. Anyway, here's a possible tip for some of your followers that still use a stovetop boiling under pan for warming the cheese. Once the desired temperature of the milk or curds is achieved, one must remove the pot from the heat source. I place bath towels under, over and around the pots to prevent the rapid temperature loss during that stage of the process. Here's a photo which you may post in your gallery if you like the idea. I do like the idea. So you can see here that Mark has wrapped his things in towels to maintain the temperature. I do find that a good cheap precision cooker works equally as well with a water bath. But for those who can't lash out on that, I tell you what, this is a great way of doing it. So well done, Mark, for that tip. Mark goes on to say, finally, is there a page online that summarises all of your content by category, including the following apps? I'm confused by so many applications. Ask the Cheeseman, Little Green Cheese Podcast, Little Green Workshops, The Greening of Gavin. Gee, that's an oldie. Cheese making tutorials on YouTube. Okay, so the best place to start is YouTube. So all the playlists, if you have a look, hang on, let me just quickly go to the YouTube channel. Can I do this without marking it up? So if we go home, so Mark, the best place, if you go to the channel and then you go to playlists, if you go to the playlists, and you will see, oh, there's even a private, that shouldn't be there. Anyway, that's my music. I like the musics. It has all the playlists. So we've got Cheese a Day Challenge, we've got Cooking with Cheese, we've got Wash Rind Cheeses, Cheese Making Tips and Techniques, Ethnic Cheeses, Stretch Curd Cheeses, Cooked Pressed Cheeses, Wash Curd Cheeses, Mould Ripened Cheeses, Sweet Curd Cheeses, Fresh Lactic Cheeses, my clay oven, it's got a playlist as well, all the cheese making tutorials, and that's it. So that is the best place to go and find the sorts of cheeses you're after. Plus the search function, obviously. You click the little search thing and search for whatever cheese you want. And 9 times out of 10, I've got a video of it or something on there. So the videos are the best way to start, really. And then if you get excited, you can buy books, or my books, or anybody's books. I don't care whose books you buy. Yeah, it's the best way to do it. Anyway, back to the gallery. We've still got some stuff going on here. Hang on. So thanks, Mark. And Mark says, finally, thank you. Thanks for everything you do. Mark Longley from North Country Farm. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. Okay. The next one is from Rule, who is better known as RTG Jazz. There you go. Found his name out. Says, howdy, Gavin, from the great state of Oklahoma. I hope all is well with you. Here are some pictures of my Jarlsberg cheese. It came in the shape of a football. Okay. It kind of looks like a football, I suppose. It's a bit mushed. It says, it exceeded my expectations. It was sweet and nutty and was one of my favourite cheeses that I've made so far. Thank you again for all that you have taught us. Best wishes, Rule. Let's have a look at this football-shaped Jarlsberg. Oh, look at the eye development on that. I think if it went any longer, it'd probably, you could call it late blown, but it's not. You've got some nice eye development there. This part here, where the eyes are going together, very feverish activity on the Propionic Shamani. Very excited. Goodness me. But yeah, good looking cheese overall, and that is the proof in the pudding. What a good looking piece of Jarlsberg. And if you said it was sweet and nutty, then I think absolutely fantastic. So well done. Congratulations on amazing cheese. Is it? Oh, and then rules whacked in there. Why are you attacking me with that block of cheddar? Because it's extra sharp. Oh my goodness. There's a meme that's going onto the channel. Put it on the community tab. Love it. Very nice indeed. Oh, goodness me. Okay, so thank you to everybody who sent in photos this week. I appreciate it. What are we doing? So, how do you send in your photos? Let me just show you. Don't you worry about that. We go to the channel page. And we go to this bit here where it says, do you want to become a curd nerd? Love eating cheese and can't get enough? Well, this channel's for you. So down here in this little list, it pops up. You click, there's a little hand, so you go the hand. Click there, and then down here, view email address. So that's the email address there to send through all of your cheese making photos for the gallery. I would love to see those. Any short videos that you make, I'd love to see those as well. I'm sure we can do a little feature there as well. But they don't come through email very well because a lot of email boxes are restricted by size. So if you've got a Gmail link or a G Drive or what's the other one? OneDrive, whatever, all the drives, Dropbox, or any of that sort of stuff, put your video in there and then send me the link. Make sure that I can access it, of course. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. That's where you send your photos and stuff. So, lovely. Back to my head. It's probably where we need to be at. There we go. Alrighty. Next question. Here we go. We've got lots of questions. Tracy says, my take on it is it could... I think this is a 3D printing. It could shed microplastics if you 3D print it. Food grade does not meet. It's tolerant of high acid content. Indeed. So, yeah, I was more concerned about bacteria getting into the cracks and scratches and that sort of stuff. But, yeah, it's a good point, Tracy. Dental Man says, what was your biggest mistake in cheese making and what do you learn from it? Look, I make mistakes every time I make cheese. And that's the thing. If you learn from it, then it's a learning mistake. I think that mistakes need to be made. Honestly, you're never going to make a perfect cheese, and as long as you make the mistakes, yeah, then I think that. As long as you learn from them, mistakes are there to be made, and that's how we learn as humans. So, my biggest mistake in cheese making, I continue to make it. Not turning my cheese enough is one thing. Now I make a habit every time I walk past a cheese fridge. Not every time, but at least once a day, I'm flipping me cheese. That way the distribution of flat fats and proteins, you don't get flat tops and bottoms and all sorts of stuff, and the cheese, the paste within the cheese is consistent. So that's my biggest mistake, is affinage, not doing it correctly. So, you know, there you go. Paul, thank you so much for the super chat. And yeah, I do agree on you. Hang on, why is the light not going? You should remind people to think about doing their cheese making journey. I should. Yeah, so I do have a series. I did have a series. Still have a series. Let me see if I can find it. And yeah, it's always good for more to learning more about the curd nerd community. Playlists. Where is it? Let me just find it. Here it is. Here is. Oh, in fact. Let me have a look, Paul. I'm going to go over the second monitor. There he is. There's the guy there. Um, there's Paul. Strumming his guitar, having a great time. There's his cheese press. So yeah, there is a playlist down here. Hang on, can we pop the playlist out? There we go. So there's the playlist. Oh, Kurt, we got stuff going off left, right, and centre. So far we've done Paul. We've got Michael Adamson, better known as Persnickety. We've got Herb, fantastic. We've got Shauna. We've also got Stacey and myself, Gav. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 episodes of Your Curd Nerd Journey. Do I have a promo for it? Let me just have a quick look. Pretty sure I do. Let's have a look. Here we go. Hey, I still got it. I normally do these on Wednesdays at 1900 Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. So the format is short story, no longer than 1,000 words. Look, I don't mind. More than 1,000 words, great. With up to 5 photos. Normally read out during the live stream. I used to think 2 stories per episode, but it's only 1. So you can send your story and your photos to Gavin at littlegreenworkshops.com.au. And the premise is, tell me about your cheese making journey so far, how it has changed your life, how and why did you get started, ups and downs along the way, and anything else you would like to share. So I'd love to start this up again, Paul, and thanks for the reminder and the super chat for the Your Curd Nerd Journey. It was great fun to share, and there was lots of people watching them. As you can see, these are some of the most popular live streams. Paul's one himself has got 1,700 views. Persnickety's has got 874. They're all about 1,000 views, if not more. And yeah, they're good. And if you want to be on the internet and have your 15 minutes of fame, it's actually about 30 minutes of fame. But yeah, 30 minutes of fame. Then shoot me through your Curd Nerd Journey, and I would love to present it. And yeah, when you write it in what's the word I'm looking for? Not proper English, but how you speak, and it'll be easier for me to read because I read it via a teleprompter. Sometimes I stumble over it. I need to work better on my prompting skills, that's for sure. Anyway, so that's Your Curd Nerd Journey. If you've got anything, shoot it through to me, and I would love to start that series up again. So thank you, Paul, for the reminder and for the $25 super chat. Did the light go off? If it didn't, here's a light for you anyway. Fantastic. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Okay, next. Paul also goes on to say, making mistakes means you're learning. Playing it safe does not help you advance. No, indeed. And that is exactly my sentiments. Next. Oh, we do have another super chat from Rule. Oh, there we go. I don't know if the light went off, but there we go. He's got a cool picture of Homer Simpson there. No comment, but yeah, very cool indeed. Thanks, Rule, for the $5 US. Zombica says, affinage is a chore, but is it a satisfying one? It is, when you remember and life doesn't get in the way. But yeah, I've made it a point over the last 6 months to definitely turn the cheeses. Monica says, I would like to make a whiskey and maple syrup infused cheese. It's best if those sorts of cheeses, because you're adding some sort of sugar into the cheese, the sugar typically ferments and creates alcoholic flavours, unwanted alcoholic flavours in the cheese. So it's best to add those sorts of things after the cheese has been matured. So it's called double milling. You can do it with cheeses and you can do it with soap as well. So double milling, and you then infuse the whiskey and the maple syrup into it to make the cheese sweeter. Press it again for a day and a bit, and then then eat it. So there is some advice if you want to learn more about double milling. There's a book by Lisa Peterson called Confident Cheese Making, where she talks about the process of double milling in her book. So it's a great resource, this one. So if you're thinking of getting a cheese making book, Confident Cheese Making by Lisa, it's a good little book. So there's some recommendations. I should do a book show. Goodness me. Dominic says, don't touch your eyes or private parts for several hours after handling chilies. Good advice for anybody, I think, Dominic, but particularly the private parts. Yeah, I've had that happen before. I'm a gardener, I've got chilies, you know. I know all about the chilies. Peter says, thanks for your splendid shows. My question to you is about cheddar and the colour. What? Anato. Maybe that, yeah. What can be used instead? Because here in Denmark, it's completely impossible to have a cheesy day. You need to go online and get it because, you know, well, the UK is only a stone's throw across the road, and that's the home of yellow cheeses, Anato-y cheeses. Hang on. Matt is in the chat still. I'm just going to call you out. Matt, if you've got any links to any homemaking supplies in the UK there, which is only a stone's throw from Denmark, that have Anato, can you pop a link or put the name of the store into the chat for Peter? I'm not familiar with any UK suppliers. So Anato is easy to get. Look, if you really want, I can ship you a bottle, but you'd have to buy it first. We ship to Denmark, of course. Long way, though. It's a long way. UK, you'll get it a lot faster. Nina says, thank you for all your videos, Gavin. It's not easy to follow some recipes, and your videos make it so much easier. Thank you, Nina. I really appreciate it. And thanks for that. Oh, that's what I haven't done, have I? I bought some little cheese baskets, pottery, ceramic ones from Nina last year, and I just haven't got around to, because of the back injury and sorts, I haven't got around to making cheese. So I got Reblosh on, plus I'm waiting for bee linens. Don't have any, can't get any. So yeah, so I'm waiting for those, and then Nina, I'll use your little pots for the Reblochon. They look fantastic, by the way. I couldn't praise them enough to anybody who would listen. So congratulations. Paul says, I'd also recommend Lisa's book. Indeed, it is a good one, that's for sure. Matt says, cheese and yogurt or Morelands offer great services. Oh, let's go on the search for the great UK cheese cheese stuff. Let me just bring up a googly search here and try and find one. Cheese. Oh, if I could spell cheese, that'd be good. Cheese and yogurt UK. Cheese and yogurt UK. Cheese making supplies. Yay. Rightio. So this is for, who was it for? Peter in Denmark. Hang on. So this is a website in the UK. Cheese and yogurt, as recommended by Matt, offer great services. So all the cheese making stuff. Let's see if we can find Anato. Anato, there we go. Food colouring. Hey, there we go. Anato. This is converted to dollars. Which country dollars? Is it Australian dollars? I don't know. Looks like they've converted it to my money. Anato food colouring, multiple sizes. Let's have a look. Oh, now it's $6, including VAT. I would expect maybe this is Australian dollars, but there's no place to change it back to pounds. Anyway, doesn't matter. So there we go. There's Anato. What do they say? Size 25 mils? Be good if you put ml there. Come on, guys. Anato for food grade, bright yellow colour, used for colouring cheeses, is highly concentrated, 25 ml dropper bottles for accurate dosing, suitable for vegans. Of course it is. It's a berry. Store bottles in a cool, dark place, but do not refrigerate. Once opened, use within 6 months. I do refrigerate mine, and I don't have any issues with it. In fact, it lasts a lot longer than 6 months if you refrigerate it. So Anato is, this is specifically for cheese making. You can buy Anato seeds in Asian grocers. Ook Kook said so, yep. But it is difficult to make it for home cheese making. So this is a pre-prepared solution. Do they have, why can't we click on the pictures? Why can't we make them bigger? I can't see the ingredients say water soluble annatto. There we go. I don't see what else it says in there. Anyway, there you go. Now, just remembering, as Robin has said, that annatto. Here we go. Let me just bring up his comment. Annatto only adds colour. Doesn't add any flavour whatsoever. It's just make your cheese. If you haven't got annatto, make it. Make the cheddar. It'll taste like cheddar. Don't you worry about that. And as Robin says, I remember asking a Scottish cheesemaker the reason for colouring the cheddar. He said there's no difference in flavour, but people like it. Yes. Yes, they do. And the reason they started adding annatto, this is a historical reference, is because they wanted to trick people into thinking that they had more cream or more butterfat in the milk and they could use a lower quality milk, and that's why they added annatto. There you go. Very naughty, but that's why we have yellow or orange coloured cheeses. There we go. There you go. Thank you, Robin, for that. And Peter says, Dan, I was in a hurry. I'm glad you knew what I meant. Thanks for all your help, guys. No problems at all. You should be able to get it. Like I said, UK, home of yellow cheeses. There you go. And thank you, Matt, for those 2 tips as well. Nina says, looking forward to it. I want to try to make Reblochon again too. Indeed, I want to get the bee linens. That would be good. And last but not least, Matt says, interesting, the rennet works name the rennet manufacturer and annatto importer from a village near me in the 1800s. There you go. It was the Gloucester people. There you go. See, double Gloucester. They used annatto, started the yellow cheese craze. I don't know if that's true, but thank you, Paul, for popping that in there. I know that somewhere in the UK started adding annatto. Got a crazy idea to do it, didn't they? Anyway, I think that's the end of the show today. Let's pay some bills, shall we? Because that's what we do around here. I've got to keep the lights on. So, where the heck is it? Where's me bills? Gav, I've lost me things. There we are. Thanks for watching, everybody, today. It's been lovely having you on the chat and talking and all the questions and all that sort of stuff. If you want to make cheese in a structured fashion, you could do no worse than popping over to Little Green Workshops. So it's courses.littlegreenworkshops.com.au. Different than my main site. This is a subdomain. So this will take you off to my Teachable page where I have 2 courses, a beginner's one and a blue cheese course. And if you want to pick up cheese making supplies like some of the lovely kits and stuff we got there, we've got more than just kits, but littlegreenworkshops.com.au is the business that Kim and I run. And if you want to get some merch, like this amazing mug, picture of me sitting on my cheese throne made of cheese. How good's that? You can pick that up at merch.cheeseman.tv. And yeah, fill your boots. The calendar's still there. I haven't taken it down yet. I'm going to, because nobody wants a calendar after the year's started, do they? But yeah, if you want to pick up a cheese making calendar, you can scratch January, but yeah, go February onwards. I'll take it down in a week or so. But yeah, thanks for watching, Curd Nerds. Appreciate your time. It's been lovely having you on, as I've mentioned. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.